Hello friends, a lot of people ask, why does a hair transplant surgery fail? So what do we mean by hair transplant failure? If the patient doesn't get enough density, what he was looking for, it can be considered as a failure. Secondly, if the donor area is exhausted, is completely devastated. I see a lot of cases coming to me for hair transplant repair where the donor area is almost completely gone. So that is hair transplant failure. Thirdly, the shape of hairline. Hair transplant should be done in a way that it goes undetectable, that nobody should be able to make out that you have got a transplant done. If you can make out that something has been done, it is hair transplant failure. So a person who has lost hair will be happy to get some hair back. The style of these hair might not be the best, but he would be happy. But he doesn't know what all potentials he had with the donor area. So a lot of times I see patients giving testimonials on YouTube videos and all, and when I see the hairlines, I find a lot of scope for improvement. No doubt the patients are happy, but they could have been happier. What are the reasons of hair transplant failure? The first and foremost is choosing a wrong clinic. What do I mean by a wrong clinic? Firstly, the clinic should be run by a doctor. There are so many clinics which are run by businessmen or corporates. They are run only for the sake of money. You can't really expect the arts and skills and that human touch and that level of honesty from these people. These days we see a lot of franchisee based clinics having centers all across the country or globe. Now as a person you might find it convenient to have a center near your place. See, if I am giving a particular service to my patients with the best of my team working along with me and seeing my work, and you expect the same kind of work quality to be delivered at some other place where I am not there, where the best of my team is not there, is it really feasible? Now if I am having multiple branches here and there, I'll keep some people maybe not so good all the time to do your work. Do you really think that's gonna work every time? Think about it. Another important point which you must consider is just check whether the clinic is doing only FUT procedure or only FUE procedure, because the chances of getting an unbiased opinion from a clinic doing a particular type of surgery only is very less. Only the clinic which is doing both the type of surgeries is expected to tell you the real truth. There are clinics which are doing 4 to 5 surgeries in a day. They have made themselves a machine. You become just another customer and you are like a workload for them. So they may do a lot of surgeries, but the final outcome of such surgeries will never match the quality where it is being done as an artwork. And I think you are the most important person for yourself. Would you like to, give your head in somebody's hand who is not even interested, who has some other priorities? Think about it. For a person who is really passionate about hair transplant, will never do this. You might find that clinic little costlier, but then it is worth. The second reason why a hair transplant surgery fails is incorrect method. Now, many a times I see a patient where FUT surgery should have been performed in the first go. He was never told about this option. Rather, he was pushed to undergo the procedure which the clinic was comfortable with. So there are patients for whom FUE is the better choice. There are patients for whom if you do FUE, it would spoil the chances permanently forever of getting his hair back in that number. At least educate yourself enough about the procedures. Even if you think that you know everything, give yourself a chance, understand the procedures, and then take your decision. So this lack of information is one of the commonest reasons why a transplant surgery fails. It is bound to fail. See, 70% of my practice is hair transplant repair. And when I see these patients, when I counsel them, when I ask them why did they choose whatever method they had done earlier, they hardly know anything. And it's really very sad that in spite of getting 2 or 3 surgeries, they are not, they are not up to date with their facts. Unrealistic expectations. This is another reason why a transplant surgery fails. If you have thin donor hair, if you think that you are going to get the density what the other YouTube guy had got, it's just not possible. Not everybody has that dense donor. So you have to take care of, you have to evaluate your donor area correctly. But sometimes when you are in a hurry, and with a lot of commercialization these days, sometimes people promise you that they'll do whatever number you want, but it's only once you get it done you realize that you have been cheated. So a proper counseling, education and evaluation of your donor area is important, because a lot of times when you see patients' results, most of the clinics will show only the patients who had thick donor. They'll never show you the patients with thin donor hair. Think about it, that's important too. Now another important reason why a transplant surgery fails is lack of support. Now this is really very important, because once you get the transplant done, you have got a good hair growth, decent level of hair growth, but after maybe a year or so, you again start noticing baldness on your scalp. This is because of loss of your existing hair, or sometimes the transplanted hair also thin out. So here comes the role of your transplant clinic. So most of the times what we see, once you are done with the transplant, the clinic says tata goodbye to you. Medicines, there are certain procedures which you need to continue after your transplant surgery. These are important to take care of your existing hair. So I hope this video helps you in choosing the correct method, correct clinic, and get best out of your hair transplant procedure. For more information, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you. Love yourself.